People of Reddit, what is the dumbest reason your ex-partner gave for cheating? Story 1, I was hanging out with a friend who had a fiancé once and we had been drinking. She came on to me and I resisted, saying ______, you have a fiancé. Eventually horniness won over and we slept together. Big mistake for her and for me, and I'm not proud of it. I regretted it big time, but she didn't and continued to come on to me, while still being engaged, until I had to stop bring her friend. I think that if you don't regret cheating or try to blame it on something else, alcohol or otherwise, then you never respected that relationship to begin with. Story 2, no, it doesn't make it a less of a betrayal. But it surely was a helpful way to approach in terms of my ability to find ways to cope with what happened, since I didn't have to listen any life-flavored explanations for hurtful behavior. Some of these reasons to cheat on this post are straight up emotionally violent. That's why I'm grateful he was at least able to respect my feelings after he has cheated. It's apparently something we shouldn't take for granted. The relationship ended, but we still remain friends, thanks to emotional maturity. Story 3, I'll try to keep this short. We hadn't had sex in a month due to my aforementioned work schedule. He started having bumps on his crotch and peeing issues. His dog had been having similar issues, but I didn't connect those dots immediately. We went to the doctor to get him checked out, and I got pulled back to get my own examination. He had an STD, I did not. He got it from an ex who he fucked a few days into me working 2 jobs. When she stopped putting out a week later, he used his dog and gave it to the dog as well. Story 4, yo, this reminds me a little of a story a former housemate once told me. Not about cheating, but it has the same energy. In his last house share, he had this housemate called Dale, not his real name Obv. He walked into his bedroom and caught Dale helping himself to some money he kept stashed in his bedside table. When caught, Dale just shrugged and said, I needed money, you had it. Which is why he promptly moved. Guarantee you Dale is the sort of person who would say that when caught cheating as well. Maybe the two are related. Story 5, I had 10 out of 10 MILF that I kind of knew come on to me, like very hard. It was almost like a scene from a movie. Jimmy the chimp, I've seen you around a few times, I can't stop looking at you type shit. It turns out she was about to fly out to go meet her fiancé soon. I told her that there was no way I was going to do anything. She said engaged isn't married. She was then very persistent. Her fiancé would have never found out and I could have lived a fantasy few get to have in real life. Just couldn't bring myself to do it. Story 6, not mine, but worth telling. Ace and Brenda, dating at the time, had Bob and Jack over for a few drinks. They ran out of beer, so Ace and Bob went on a beer run. When they got back, they found Brenda and Jack had been fucking. Brenda said, well, what did you expect us to do? You left us alone for an hour. So Ace told Jack, buy me a case of beer and we'll be even. Ace and Brenda have been married for over 25 years since then, so I guess it turned out okay, though there could be something said for being too laid back. Story 7, the dumbest reason? At the time she was afraid of a manager at her work who sexually assaulted her. She felt she had no choice but to continue working there for financial reasons. She chose not to pursue him legally. Months later, she said she wrote a pros and cons list about me, and the cons outweighed the pros. She promptly moved out, and proceeds to move in with 3 other male McDonald's employees, who she has a group relationship with. Go ahead and try to unravel that mess. I'll wait. I stopped trying. Story 8, you didn't give me enough attention. We went on dates March 4th Fridays and Saturdays in the month. I'm just not in this anymore after cheating on me twice in 3 months, and then leaving for the guy. We didn't have boundaries. She never brought up a single problem in the relationship, and when I asked when I thought something may be amiss, not a word. My childhood emotional trauma was triggered by your panic attacks. The panic attacks that started the weeks when I cheated and your dad died. Enough said. Story 9, yeah, what hurts worse than being cheated on is the feeling that I was never anything more than a paycheck to her. Everything we had together, everything we did together was just a lie, was the first and only woman I have ever opened up to and told her all of my secrets and how I feel. Happiest time of my life was watching her walk through the store with my kid and thinking that's my wife. That's my kid and I'm motherfucking daddy, this my family, 14 plus years of bullshit. Story 10, dang. This reminds me of the guys whose wife cheated with their friend who then became her high-end call girl pimp. She was a som and would drop the kids off at school, then pick up her Jag from a storage unit to drive to her appointments in it. He found out when police called him to let him know she was in the hospital. He rushed to the hospital to learn she'd been beaten severely by one of the Johns, and that's how he learned she'd been living this double life for years. Story 11, as a woman, seeing these replies, I am so grateful for men who stick up for and support other men who need emotional support. The king trend is heartwarming. A king is not made by his big dick or his big dig energy. He is made by self-respect and respect for others. He is made by following through with his promises and supporting his loved ones. You are so valuable. Please excuse this if it's annoying to you. It's Friday and I phoned in work early and am slightly tipsy, lol. Story 12, it was part of your plan, so you could get with him. At the time I was being sexually harassed by a coworker. It had been reported, my ex and I were out celebrating one of my ex-partner's friend's birthday and next thing you know he's hooking up with someone's wife, who happened to be a friend of mine. And yet my ex still chose to blame it on me for the drama I was already dealing with from my coworker and how I must have had feelings for the bloke. Story 13, cheater. Ever seen the joke about how there's a guy taking a shower when he slips, falls out of the window into another window where there's a woman changing and he happens to land on top of her when his penis accidentally slips in? So, what the fuck? No. Cheater. That works, so I was taking a shower and I slipped. You starting the way you did made me remember this bit, where it's from or the original context, but it was hilarious at the time. Story 14, the worst thing about the 2-week situation is the futility of it. If they were single, they would have way longer extended periods without sex, and it's not an issue, yet they betray their partner, causing all kinds of devastation, because there was no sex for 2 weeks. Of course, this isn't actually why they cheated, and the OP knows this, which is why they mentioned it in a thread asking for the most ridiculous reason a partner has given for cheating. Story 15, I didn't do anything, it's all in your head. Never snooped on his phone until I decided to one night after about 2 years together. Did not suspect a thing, nothing changed with him. Seen the most disgusting texts between him and this older woman. I'm no prude, but holy crap. Still, can't wrap my head around the fact it was all in my head or I don't know what I read. Yeah, I think I do. They were carpooling in the morning and evening. Story 16, my first girlfriend. We had an argument. We got pretty upset at each other and don't talk for weeks. But we're still BF/GF, mind you. We reconcile. I find out that in our absence from each other, she fucked a guy on a picnic trip. Yet I still took her back. I'm fucking stupid. Yes, I broke up with her. Found out much later that she had a kid with some dude, don't think she is with him anymore. Yikes. Feels bad, man. All that wasted time. Story 17, I got something similar. She didn't tell this guy she worked with and was paired up with she was talking to that she had a boyfriend. But was perfectly okay talking to him about her private medical issues and other personal things. So I confronted her about it. She literally yelled at me, I don't see a ring on this finger. Apparently, when in a committed relationship, it's not important to tell people she has a boyfriend. Story 18, of all the comments in this page, this was the first one I felt compelled to comment on. She said she was thinking about it too because she heard of a cute guy with a fast car she wants to meet. That is the most HS shit I have ever heard. It's like when you break up with your boyfriend/girlfriend in second grade 'cause your other classmate just got a new video game. I hope you can laugh about this now. Did you ever ask your friend? Story 19, got married at 19 to a guy in the military who was 12 years older than me. I moved the coffee table out of the way so I could blow him on the couch. When I was done, I saw her underwear that were accidentally left behind under the coffee table. Found out right there that he only married me for the benefits and thought since I was so young I wouldn't care. Fucked me up pretty bad, and I've still not recovered being 35 now. Story 20, we never made it official. We had split up for a few months before they asked to move back in as friends. Before long she's sleeping in my bed, we're doing all the couple stuff again, she's telling me she loves me, we're playing family, etc. Literal years go by, she starts a new job, starts banging some guy, wouldn't leave even though I told her she had to leave, I knew she was cheating. Awesome human. Story 21, man, some people just live their whole life in a couple of years. Meanwhile, here I am, only got my driver's license at the age of 28 and am still a virgin. But at least I don't have unwanted offspring somewhere, and the bad taste of my huge mistakes in my mouth. Phew. Edit, I was a virgin when I was 28 and got my driver's license. I am now 33 and still a virgin. Good driving skills, though. Sorry for the confusion. Story 22, at first. You're just imagining it. I had no evidence, just this weird feeling, after our breakup, 'cause he found a new girlfriend. He told her that I was his ex and cowed not find a new place to life in 6 months. She believed him, you were too clingy. I liked you, but I didn't love you. But of course, you are really beautiful and sexy. Wanna fuck, sorry for any grammar issues, English isn't my first language. Story 23, neighbor took too much and lied to my ex about I having 2 girls in the apartment for over 2 hours. The girls were my coworkers and it took less than 10 minutes to get ready for a work party. They were my ride because I couldn't afford an Uber or Lyft and didn't have my own car. According to my ex-partner, that was her reason for flying to Jamaica, catching chlamydia, and kicking me out of the apartment. Story 24, someone told me you were cheating on me, went to his house to check up on him after he failed to meet me for our movie date / didn't reply to texts or calls. He lived 5 minutes from the theater, so I figured I'd drop by and see if he was okay. He was at home with his ex-GF. I didn't / wasn't cheating. We didn't have mutual friends, and he couldn't produce a name for the someone who told him I was cheating.